So I want to go to Scott Jennings, who is a senior advisor to Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell and a special assistant to President George W. Bush, and Keisha Lance Bottoms, former Democratic mayor of Atlanta and now DNC vice chair. So thanks to both. So Scott, the New York Times says McCarthy met with Trump for 3 hours Monday at Mar-a-Lago, Monday being, what day is it today? 2 days ago. And that, Trump kept referring to him, the minority leader, as the speaker, right? Which is the job he aspires to have. And yet, these tapes keep coming out with McCarthy saying all these horrible things about Trump. It seems okay so far. I mean, can the relationship withstand this continued assault?
Well, not only can it, it already is. I mean, obviously, these tapes have come out, and Kevin McCarthy moved quickly to solidify his relationship with Donald Trump. And whatever you think of his comments and the tapes in the aftermath of January the 6th, Kevin McCarthy has done what he needs to do to keep perhaps his most important constituent happy, and that's Donald Trump. And they're working well together. Donald Trump is issuing a number of endorsements to key House Republicans who are winning their primaries. He had a good record in Ohio just this week as well. Kevin McCarthy has been instrumental in getting those endorsements done. Yeah. I think one thing that's driving the unity between McCarthy and Trump, candidly, is just the idea that Republicans are on the cusp of retaking the House and perhaps retaking the Senate and maybe even retaking the White House. And there's broad recognition in all corners of the party that unity is the most important thing here, and everybody's doing what they can do to maintain it.
Now, so Scott, all of this context says President Biden said today, in the wake of the leaked draft opinion from the Supreme Court that would overturn Roe v. Wade, here's what he said.
What are the next things that are going to be attacked? Because this MAGA crowd is really the most extreme political organization that's existed in American history, in recent American history.
Okay, so he said it. And by the way, a few minutes before, he had said this.
Senator Rick Scott of Florida, United States Senator, who's leading the Republican National Senatorial Campaign Committee, released what he calls the Ultra MAGA Agenda. It's a MAGA agenda, all right. Let me tell you about this Ultra MAGA agenda. It's extreme, as most MAGA things are.
So, Scott, does that have any sort of an impact? I mean, obviously, it's not going to get anybody who's in MAGA to, suddenly look in the mirror and feel differently about themselves. I mean, does it motivate them and inspire them still more?
Look, Republicans are chomping at the bit to vote. If you look at Republican turnout in the Ohio primary this week, it was up massively over the last several primaries. You can't keep Republicans out of the ballot box right now because they're so excited to vote against and send a message to Joe Biden. I mean, if I were in Joe Biden's position, I'd be throwing all this stuff against the wall, too, because you want anything other than what we're going to get, which is a referendum on his job approval. Look at the CNN poll tonight. His job approval is low. His approval on the economy is low. Yep. People don't think he's doing enough on inflation. The tabletop issues that are killing American families and his responsibility for it, that's what we're going to have a referendum on in November. And he's trying to distract from that, but I think it's a futile effort.
Scott, I want to ask you a quick follow there, though, to this point about MAGA. What happens in a place like Ohio, where you have a moderate, very blue-collar appealing Democrat now in Tim Ryan running against as MAGA as it gets, right? So if you're saying Republicans there in the center, the Mitt Romney type Republicans, they're going to walk in and pull the lever for J.D. Vance?
Yeah, I do. I think Republicans are going to walk in and pull the lever for Vance and a lot of other Republican candidates because they are desperate to send a message to Joe Biden. I mean, Mr. Ryan's going to try hard to run away from Joe Biden. I heard him in interviews today already trying. You're going to see Democrats all over the country trying to pretend they've never met Joe Biden, never heard of Joe Biden, but it's just not going to work because ultimately these midterms for presidents are referendums on their job approval. And as we can all read from the polling tonight, Joe Biden's in rough shape, and I don't see how it's going to get any better.
Scott, do you have that fear? I mean, obviously, we're in the heat of the moment on that abortion decision, but then the decision itself is going to come out, right? And it's going to motivate a lot of people on the left, right? People who are passionate single issue voters. I mean, they're going to vote now.
Yeah, I don't really fear this. I mean, I look at the empirical evidence we have on the abortion issue. Democrats in Virginia in the fall tried to make the entire gubernatorial election about MAGA, Donald Trump, and abortion. That was Terry McAuliffe's entire campaign. And a state that Joe Biden won by 10 points was won by Glenn Youngkin by 2%. So a blue state went Republican after the Democrats attempted to do what Joe Biden is saying is their campaign strategy today. So I don't fear this. I do think it roils the waters, but I think turnout was already going to be high. And I think if you're a single issue abortion voter, you're already voting Democrat and you're probably already voting. So Republicans, I'm telling you, are as energized as I've ever seen them. And I don't think something like, and by the way, this ruling energizes our party too. I mean, Republicans I know are pretty excited about what Donald Trump and Mitch McConnell's court may produce here. So this thing cuts both ways.
Thank you both very much. I appreciate your time.